This is Tom Doody, middle-aged American living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you would type Howdy Doody into Google. You'll find the correct spelling of the famous puppet. You then combine Tom Doody in a Google search for my site. From the New York Times. New emails in Clinton case came from devices once used by Anthony Weiner. Douglas Mills, the New York Times, also by Adam Goldman, Alan RAPPEPORT, Michael S. Schmidt, and Matt APUZZO, October 28th, 2016. I expect to post this story within hours of the news breaking. Washington. A trove of emails that appear pertinent to the now closed investigation into the Hillary Clinton's private email server was discovered after the FBI seized at least one electronic device shared by Anthony D. Weiner and his estranged wife, Huma Abedin, a top aide to Mrs. Clinton. Federal law enforcement officials said on Friday. The FBI is investigating illicit text messages that Mr. Weiner, a former Democratic congressman from New York, sent to a 15-year-old girl in North Carolina. The Bureau told Congress on Friday that it uncovered new emails related to the Clinton case. One federal official said they numbered in tens of thousands, potentially reigniting an issue that has weighed on the presidential campaign and offering a lifeline to Donald J. Trump less than 2 weeks before the election. In a letter to Congress, the FBI Director James B. Comey said that emails had surfaced in an unrelated case and that they appeared to be pertinent to the investigation. Mr. Comey said the FBI was taking steps to determine whether they contained classified information, as well as to assess their importance to our investigation. He said he did not know how long it would take to review the emails or whether new information was significant. Mr. Trump has fallen behind Mrs. Clinton in most national polls and in many key states. Polls have been tightening in recent days, however, amid the daily release of hacked Clinton campaign emails published by WikiLeaks. Mr. Trump seized on the FBI action on Friday at a rally in New Hampshire to cheers of "Lock her up" from his supporters. Mr. Trump said Hillary Clinton's corruption is on a scale we have never seen before. We must not let her take her criminal scheme into the Oval Office. After deriding the FBI for weeks for inept and corrupt, Mr. Trump as inept and corrupt, After deriding the FBI for weeks as inept and corrupt, Mr. Trump went on to praise the law enforcement agency. I have great respect for the fact that the FBI and the DOJ are now willing to have the courage to right the horrible mistake that they made, Mr. Trump said, referring also to the Department of Justice. This was a grave miscarriage of justice that the American people fully understand. It is everybody's hope that it is about to be corrected. A letter, the FBI Director James Comey said that new emails had surfaced in the case unrelated to the closed investigation into whether Hillary Clinton or her aides had mishandled classified information, and that messages appear to be pertinent to the investigation. The Clinton camp called on Comey to provide information beyond what was put forth in the letter. Director Comey's letter refers to emails that have come to light in an unrelated case, but we have no idea what those emails are. The director himself notes they may not even be significant, said John D. Podesta, chairman of Mrs. Clinton's campaign. He added, "It's extraordinary that we would see something like this 11 days out from a presidential election." Mrs. Clinton, arriving Friday at Cedar Rapids, Iowa, waved at members of the media gathered on the tarmac but ignored shouted questions. The Republican National Committee cheered the new attention on Mrs. Clinton emails as potential turning point in the race. The FBI decision to reopen the criminal investigation into Hillary Clinton's secret email server just 11 days before the election shows how serious this discovery must be. Reince Priebus, the Republican committee chairman, said in a statement, "This stunning development raises serious questions on what records may have been turned over and why they show intent, and whether they show intent to violate the law." In July, Mr. Comey announced that the FBI investigation had closed. The investigation after determining that no one should face criminal charges. But Mr. Comey did criticize Mrs. Clinton for her and her aides for what he termed extremely careless handling of sensitive information. Mrs. Abedin separated from Mr. Weiner in August after it emerged that he was exchanging lewd messages with a woman on social media. Such behavior has destroyed his congressional career path in 2013. Mr. Trump has pointed to Mrs. Clinton's association with the couple as an example of her bad judgment. "I only worry for the country in that Hillary Clinton was careless and negligent, allowing Mr. Weiner to have such close proximity to highly classified information," Mr. Trump said last summer. Who knows what he learned and who he told? Correction, October 28th, 2016. An earlier version of this article incorrectly reported when the FBI Director Comey announced that the Bureau had closed the investigation into Hillary's email use. It was July, not September. This has been Tom Doody, middle-aged American, living in New Jersey near the Lincoln Tunnel. If you were to visit my website, you would type Howdy Doody into Google. You'll find the correct spelling of the famous puppet. You then combine Tom Doody in a Google search for my site. Thank you for listening. Have a good day, good evening, a restful night's sleep. Ciao.